Hey, everybody, it's Greg Harrelson here with, the Level Up podcast. And again, I've got my co-host, Brendan Payne, with me, also a partner in some of my real estate companies. And we are going to talk to you a little bit today about kind of getting into action. We were talking about it before we hit the record button about how, as real estate agents, if you just do something, even if it's the wrong something, it's a lot better than what most agents are doing right now. So, Brendan, I know we're going to dive into that. Thank you for joining me again, and welcome back to the show.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. And I love the, I like this because, we don't really like to think about whether something's right or wrong or spend a lot of time on that. Just go and we'll figure it out. If we break something, we'll put it back together. But I think it's a great message. So even if it's wrong, just get in action and do something.
Yeah. So when you kind of thought you were bringing this up, and we've been talking, what were your thoughts when that came out of your mouth? I was just like, yeah, well, that's so obvious and so true. But those things that are so obvious are the things that are that are overlooked a lot. So kind of what inspired you to start thinking about doing something, even if it's wrong?
A lot of conversations right now that I'm having with our agents that we're coaching revolve around how do I do this, or what's the perfect thing that I should be saying to this group of leads, or what should I be sending my past clients? What should I be sending my active clients? And there's always things that we could come up with, and some are going to work and some are not going to work. But right now, my feeling with the market is you don't have time to mess around trying to perfect everything. You just need to go get in action. And even if you send something or you put something out there or you start a program and it ends up being wrong, the fact that you are in action puts you ahead of a lot of your competition right now, which is a great thing. If you think about it, like 10 months ago, a year ago, everybody was running around. They're like, oh my gosh, I'm in real estate, and they're excited and they're full of energy and they're all trying to figure something out. Well, now, if you're in action and moving forward with something, even if it ends up being wrong, you're ahead of a lot of the competition. So I think that's where it's born from. And they're simple. I think each person, and maybe we can give them a few, Greg, I think each person that's listening has got to have that bare minimum that daily, they're just non-negotiable. If you're sitting there wondering well, I don't have a lot of lead flows. I don't have a lot of hot leads right now. It feels like my pipeline's just closed off. All right. What do we do to get it back open? And maybe we'll just share 3 or 4 things, 2, 3 things that are just bare minimum to be able to get back in action. And I promise if you do that over a period of time, other things are going to pop up.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I like it. And we've got a few things that we will share. I want to add one more thing, as you're talking, do something, even if it's wrong. It's kind of like in sports, like soccer. One of the things about soccer, they measure this one statistic called shots on goal. In baseball, they measure a statistic called at-bats. In basketball, field goal attempts. In football, pass attempts. And when you think about it, they're not talking about measuring, even though they measure other things. That measurement is just how many attempts are you making, not even about results. And here's what they know statistically. Overall, on average, the people who make the most attempts will actually win the game. That's now sometimes it's not the case, but statistically speaking, the people who make the most attempts will win the game. In other words, you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. I hope y'all heard that. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. If you actually take no shots and I close my eyes and take 5 shots, I'm likely to beat you. And if I close my eyes and take 5 shots and make 1, it's completely lucky. But what was I doing? I was doing something.
Yep.
Even if it was the wrong thing, doing it with my eyes closed. But that was a lot better than doing nothing.
Yep.
All right. So what do you got? What do you think? What's an example of a something?
I mean, right now, I would say one thing would be every single one of your past clients sold or purchased in the last 24 months. Start there. That'll give you something to do. Last 24 to 36 months, reach out to every single one of them. There've been some changes in the market. I know you're thinking about it. Just curious on what do you have coming up that I might be able to help you out with information or something like that. Just text your past clients over the last 2 to 3 years, because if you think of each buyer and each seller over the last 3 years, has anything changed for them over the last 36 months? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Half your people in the last 12 months, things have changed. And now they're all, their whole plans could have changed. So make it a goal, get through all of them, and don't stop until you are able to actually reach out to them, and you're going to be able to, start up conversations, and they know that you're still in business. I mean, there's some benefit to that right there.
Yeah. Hey, I sent a text to some of my clients or past clients and centers of influence. And the text was just simple. It was just, hey, I'm just kind of curious if you thought about doing anything with your real estate selling before the end of the year. A lot of them said, no, man, we're not going to be doing anything. But you know what? I got a few possibles.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm doing something.
Yep.
And I'm getting something from it. Put yourself in a position to luck out. I'm going to say one, and I mean, this is one that some people that know me very well would probably say, well, Greg, why in the world are you telling people this? And that is open house. How about, look, do something, schedule an open house. Look, I hear this complaint from real estate agents like daily right now. And that is, oh my gosh, all my buyers, they don't really want to do anything. They said they're going to wait for prices to come down and the interest rates to come down. And here's what I say to them. I said, I bet you the last buyer that told you that is a buyer that's been in your database for over 6 months. And they're like, yeah, well, how do you know? Because the buyers that are using that as their objection right now, or their smokescreen, are the buyers that are saying that because they remember when they could have bought at a lower interest rate, and they have a regret. So they're regretting not moving forward, and that's what they're saying. But when you go to, if you do an open house right now, and you get a new buyer lead that comes into that open house, guess what? They already know the interest rates. They know the prices. They know the inflation. They know the economy. They're actually very current on what's going on, and they're still actively pursuing, looking at properties. So the new leads that you get are going to resist or give you less objections and smoke screens than the old leads that you have. You always want to work the old leads, but put yourself in position to get a new lead. If that means you have to schedule an open house, you should be doing an open house before you're sitting in your house doing nothing on the weekend.
Love that. Go to somebody else's house, hold it open. Or
there you go. Yeah. Go watch football in their house.
Yeah. Love it. Yeah. And I'll take the opposite approach to that. You find a new lead. You've got a bunch of old leads in there too. So number 3 is going to be go through, and this is going to be a lot of mindset. But Greg, you and I, we in our offices, we hear stories. I don't think probably more than 3 or 4 days goes by where I don't get a call from one of our managers in one of our offices that tells me a story about a new agent that came in the business, and we gave them some old dead leads that had been abandoned. And then they wrote a contract within like their first week or so. We know it happens. We can't convince everybody, but I think when the new ones come in, they're like, oh my gosh, this is incredible. This was a dead lead from somebody. So we know that happens. Just take your old leads that are dead that you've abandoned and commit some time to them. I promise if you do that consistently, one of those old dead leads is going to actually have gone through the whole process. And now they're going to turn around and write a contract. Okay. But you have to actually, 1, believe it's going to happen, and 2, commit to the time to do that. But the third one's very simple. Do not get rid of, do not abandon mentally those old leads, because every single one of them at some point is going to mature back into a buyer in this market. And everybody's going to be different. They're all going to pop at a different time. This portion, they've got to see this happen before they're like, okay, honey, let's go ahead and get back into the buying game. Another portion is going to say, well, after this date, we see what happens. Now we'll be back and ready to go. Right now, what's everybody talking about? Midterm elections. Then somebody else is going to be after the first of the year. Somebody else is going to be as soon as the Fed does this. Every one of those is affecting somebody in your database differently. And so you got to be in touch with all of them and make sure that you're showing up when that change happens. And then they're going to be, all of a sudden we're going to be like, oh my gosh, all these people are making moves now. Yeah. The other thing I want to point out, just as we're talking through this, is I want to acknowledge, and I think people that are listening to this, it sounds like them, I just feel like it's hard for me to get going. I need to get in action, just do something. Just realize right now, mentally, you're probably reluctant to go do a lot of these things because you're getting another gut punch. You're getting somebody else that's telling you what you already think, I don't want to buy, or this is happening. It's stuff that's going through your head too. You've got to fight through that. Acknowledge that's what's going on. And it's just a choice. Okay, I'm going to talk to more people that tell me they're going to wait. Okay, I'm going to talk to more people that are going to say, I want a low ball, and until I can get it 25% off, I'm not a buyer. Okay, just push through that and realize there's still people out there that want to do deals. Yeah. And hopefully that'll get you past there's no point in it.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. It all comes back down to what you were, the last subject you're talking about, reaching out to all those, old leads. Again, put yourself in position to luck out.
Yeah.
Do something, even if it's the wrong thing. I'll say it again. I could take 5 shots with my eyes closed, and I would more likely win over somebody who takes no shots with their eyes open. Take the shot. Take action. And once you get consistently taking action, then you can start figuring out what are the better actions to take. But right now, don't complicate your life. Just get into action. Start there.
Awesome.
All right, man. I appreciate it. Hey, I wanted to mention one thing before we get off. A lot of you don't know, but I do some coaching with the Agent Success Academy. It's a group coaching call that I have every week under the Real Estate Sales Solutions umbrella. If you all would like to, allow or would like me to help you grow your business, especially during times like this, please just Google it. Go to Agent Success Academy. Check it out. I'd love to have you. Brendan, thank you so much.
You bet. Talk soon.